Hello, everybody, and welcome back to... No. This isn't exactly what my wife had in mind when I told her that I got her flowers for Valentine's Day. I, of course, kid, obviously, but the game is called Floristry, a quick-fire two-player game from Uncommons Publishing that's equal part Zen and high-stakes tension. The game is built around a Dutch auction using a browser app. The price of the flower tiles start high and drops every few seconds, so it becomes a literal game of chicken. Do you wait for a bargain and risk your opponent snatching the best blooms and flowers, or pay attention to lock in your shop's look? Now, setup for this game is actually quite the breeze, really. You want to go ahead and assemble and place the player aid easel between both players. It's double-sided, so no worries. Give each player a storefront board, which is also double-sided, so make sure that each player has a different color. Then scan the QR code on a phone or tablet and load up the browser app. Take all the tiles and place them inside the tile draw bag, and then you want to go ahead and give each player a score marker and place it on the 0 space on the storefront board. Finally, each player draws one flower tile from the draw bag and want to place it in roughly in the center of the storefront board. Click play on the app and you are ready to go off to the auction races. Now, in a nutshell, the game is played over 10 rounds and the app keeps track of all 10 rounds. It starts with a player placing 4 random tiles from the draw bag down onto the table, and then both players have to hit ready at the same time. Once both players are ready, the timer is going to start. The flowers are going to start off high, and as the time ticks on, the price of the flowers is going to start going down. This is kind of where I mentioned that chicken feel is going to be coming into play, because you want to try to get a very low price, but at the same time, you're also anticipating your player's move, because they would maybe more impatient than you and they want to get the tiles first. So, but regardless, once a player wins the auction, they take 3 of the tiles that they want out of the 4 and give the other one to the player that lost the auction. And then you place them inside your storefront frame, trying to group the same flowers together to build the highest and most charming of the patches. There is a bit of rules to go over whenever you are placing the tiles, because they have to be placed by edges and they can't be placed by corners. Each one has to be touching a full-blown flower. Once the rounds are up, then it's time for scoring. The player with the highest group of certain color patches is the one that's going to score, and depending on how many you have in that patch is dependent on how many points that you get at the end of the game. Another rule that I want to go over before I give my review: you are allowed to move and shift over all of your tiles at once, but the original spots that you placed a single tile cannot change its position and relative. We found it a lot easier to just simply shift the board, don't shift over the tiles. This just lets you create a little bit more room for tile placement, that's all. So for my first impressions review of this game, I truly think it strikes a unique balance between the turn your brain off experience and a high tension game of chicken. I know I keep mentioning the game of chicken, but the auction really makes you feel like that. The heart of the game, that being said, is the browser app auction. There's this just cool sense of anticipation as you're watching the price drop and trying to hold out for that bargain while keeping just a really sharp eye on your opponent's hand. It can really come back to bite you if you do happen to wait too long because your opponent just swoops in because they just become impatient. The app is also what I think is the game's bread and butter, because it handles everything very smoothly, and we found ourselves playing about 4 rounds in a single setting. We didn't have to feel like there was a chore playing this game. The app truly makes it feels like a fast-paced and very steady flow, I guess you could say. The artwork, on the other hand, is simple, but it is very charming to look at the same time. It brings over that setting up a small flower shop and really brings it to life, while the cat scorers are very cute to look at. The real star of the game is truly its physical design. So, in a nutshell, I would describe Floristry as a very zen game that still keeps you on your toes. It's perfect for all the gamers who just want to have a nice chill out session without really a heavy sort of rules burden on the table. So I truly think it's an excellent choice for couples or friends looking for a fast, engaging, and beautiful way to spend 20 minutes or even an hour, depending on how many times you want to play. So, all in all, if you're looking for a beautiful turn your brain off game this Valentine's Day that still packs quite the punch, then I think Floristry is a truly must play to have in your collection. And speaking of cats, this game also has an expansion where it adds 2 cat tiles into the draw bag, and you score 1 extra point if you have one of them on there, and 3 points if you happen to have both of them inside your storefront frame. So that's actually going to do it for today's video, everybody. And I'd like to give a huge shout out to Uncommons Publishing Games for sending me a copy of Floristry to review. All joking aside, both my wife and I really had a fun time playing this. It's very zen, it's very chill, and it's really pretty to look at for such a simple game, and we had a lot of fun with it too. So, as a thank you, I'm going to be linking in the description below to where you can find out more information about this game yourself. If I'm not mistaken, and they can correct me on this, anybody can correct me on this, this game is going to be available for purchase on Valentine's Day or right after Valentine's Day. I'm not entirely sure because that's what at least says on some of the online web stores. But I digress. The link I'm going to be putting in the description below goes directly to Uncommons Publishing Games website themselves. I'm not here to give online web stores credit. I'm here to give them credit. But again, thank you guys so much for sending me a copy of Floristry to review. And again, we had a lot of fun playing it. So if you liked the video, please drop a like on it, leave a comment below on what you think that you saw, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you not have done so already. But as always, I'm your friendly neighborhood guru, and I got an angry wife that I need to go buy flowers for now. So, goodbye, my friends.